Good afternoon and welcome to Lunchtime Poetry with Lorie. Today, you may not know, is National Chocolate Chip Day. It's also National Pizza Party Day. Those are two of my very favorite things. Poetry is also one of my favorite things, so I thought I would combine them and share some food poems. I'm going to start with one called Potato by Kenyon. In haste one evening, while making dinner, I threw away a potato that was spoiled on one end. The rest would have been redeemable. In the yellow garbage pail, it became the consort of coffee grounds, banana skins, carrot peelings. I pitched it onto the compost, where steaming scraps and leaves return, like bodies over time, to earth. When I flipped the fetid layers with a hay fork to air the pile, the potato turned up unfailingly, as if to revile me, looking plumper, firmer, resurrected instead of dissembling. It seemed to grow until I might have made a shepherd's pie for a whole hamlet, people who passed the day dropping trees, pumping gas, pinning hand-me-down clothes on the line. And that's Potato by Kenyon. Next, a poem by a favorite, Robert Frost. It's called After Apple Picking. My long two-pointed ladder's sticking through a tree toward heaven still, and there's a barrel that I didn't fill beside it, and there may be 2 or 3 apples I didn't pick upon some bough, but I am done with apple picking now. Essence of winter sleep is on the night, the scent of apples I am drowsing off. I cannot rub the strangeness from my sight. I got from looking through a pane of glass I skimmed this morning from the drinking trough, and held it against the world of hoary grass. It melted, and I let it fall and break, but I was well upon my way to sleep before it fell, and I could tell what form my dreaming was about to take. Magnified apples appear and disappear, stem end and blossom end, and every fleck of russet showing clear. My instep arch not only keeps the ache, it keeps the pressure of a ladder round. I feel the ladder sway as the boughs bend, and I keep hearing from the cellar bin the rumbling sound of load on load of apples coming in. For I have had too much of apple picking. I am overtired of the great harvest I myself desired. There were 10,000 fruit to touch, cherish in hand, lift down and not let fall. For all that struck the earth, no matter if not bruised or spiked with stubble, went surely to the apple cider heap, as if no worth. One can see what will trouble this sleep of mine, whatever sleep it is. Were he not gone, the woodchuck could say whether it's like his long sleep, as I describe its coming on, or just some human sleep. And that is After Apple Picking. And I have a dear friend who works in the apple picking business, and I think she can probably relate to that poem. This is a poem that I was introduced to by a friend who is also a poet and a performer. So this one goes out to Arthur Greenleaf Holmes. It is called This Is Just to Say by William Carlos Williams. I have eaten the plums that were in the icebox, and which you were probably saving for breakfast. Forgive me, they were delicious, so sweet and so cold. And that's This Is Just to Say by William Carlos Williams. Next, I'm going to read Blackberry Eating by Galway Kinnell. I love to go out in late September among the fat, overripe, icy blackberries. To eat blackberries for breakfast, the stalks very prickly, a penalty they earn for knowing the black art of blackberry making. And as I stand among them, lifting the stalks to my mouth, the ripest berries fall almost unbidden to my tongue, as words sometimes do, certain peculiar words like strengths or squinched, many-lettered, one-syllable lumps, which I squeeze, squinch open, and splurge well into the silent, startled, icy black language of blackberry eating late in September. And that's Blackberry Eating by Galway Cannell. Pardon me. And finally, a fun one. Not that they're not all fun, they're all fun. But this one's super fun. It's by Shel Silverstein. And it is called Sarah Cynthia Sylvia Stout Would Not Take the Garbage Out. Sarah Cynthia Sylvia Stout would not take the garbage out. She'd scour the pots and scrape the pans, candy the yams and spice the hams. And though her daddy would scream and shout, she simply would not take the garbage out. And so it piled up to the ceilings, coffee grounds, potato peelings, brown bananas, rotten peas, chunks of sour cottage cheese. It filled the can, it covered the floor, it cracked the window and blocked the door, with bacon rinds and chicken bones, drippy ends of ice cream cones, prune pits, peach pits, orange peel, gloppy glumps of cold oatmeal, pizza crusts and withered greens, soggy beans and tangerines, crusts of black burned buttered toast, grisly bits of beefy roasts. The garbage rolled down the hall, it raised the roof, it broke the wall. Greasy napkins, cookie crumbs, globs of gooey bubble gum, cellophane from green bologna, rubbery blubbery macaroni, peanut butter caked and dry, curdled milk and crusts of pie. Moldy melons, dried up mustard, eggshells mixed with lemon custard, cold French fries and rancid meat and yellow lumps of cream of wheat. At last the garbage reached so high that finally it touched the sky. And all the neighbors moved away, and none of her friends would come out to play. And finally, Sarah Cynthia Sylvia Stout said, "Okay, I'll take the garbage out." But then, of course, it was too late. The garbage reached across the state, from New York to the Golden Gate. And there, in garbage, she did hate. Poor Sarah met an awful fate that I cannot right now relate, because the hour is much too late. But children, remember Sarah Stout, and always take the garbage out. And that is Sarah Cynthia Sylvia Stout Would Not Take the Garbage Out by Shel Silverstein. I hope that you have enjoyed today's food-centric poetry, lunchtime poetry day. You can find me here every Friday at noon at the Manlius Library YouTube channel. My name is Lorie, and I'm a librarian at Manlius Library. And I would like to wish you all a happy National Chocolate Chip Day, a happy National Pizza Party Day. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you here next Friday at noon.